How's it going, everyone? I'm Randati. Welcome to another wedding walkthrough Wednesday. Today we are going to be talking about the last workspace that I have on Final Cut Pro, and that is the color mastering workspace. So if you don't know already, I had a video that went over like all four of my different workspaces. This is the last of the four that I do integrate into my workflow, and that is the color mastering workspace. To get to this workspace, again, we are going to look on the actual interface of Final Cut Pro. When you open up your library, then you will go to Window, Workspace, and then right now I'm in Skeleton. So if I want to go color mastering, I just click on color mastering, and this is what my color mastering workspace looks like. Again, you see a lot of different waveforms, Vectorscopes, and Luma Waveforms, RGB Parade, stuff like that. That just helps with getting more color accuracy in terms of color mastering. So the reason why you want to have a workspace like this set up, so you could tell like how to correctly correct your colors, because it starts with color correction and then it goes into color grading. A lot of times like you'll get very good at this, so you could very much just start with putting on your LUT that you use all the time. If you use other people's LUTs, then put that on, and then you could correct for the colors that way. There's so many different methods on color grading and all that, and by all means, I'm not an expert colorist. There are other people out there that do way better job at color grading and color mastering and color correction than I do, so this is just what I do. Notice on the actual window to the left of the viewer, there is the video scopes option, and to toggle this for when you are creating your workspace for color grading, hit view on the window. It's under video scopes, or you could press Command 7. And I have mine set up for a Vectorscope, a Luma Waveform, and then RGB Parade. The reason I have Luma Waveform is so I could know the exposure, if I'm getting the full dynamic range of each clip, because sometimes you'll look at a clip, it may look nice but on your monitor, but sometimes your monitor is not calibrated correctly, or like you just need like hard numbers to really know if you are exposing properly and you're not just crushing the blacks and it looks like it's faded on your monitor. So I really like to rely a lot on the actual waveforms themselves rather than my eye. I use my eye a lot to for the color grading, but in terms of color correction and exposure correction, you definitely want to use the waveforms that are available in your Final Cut Pro library. So again, Luma Waveform is going to be this bottom one on the right, and the way you could toggle this to have it looking like mine, because if it's your first time making this workspace, it's going to look totally different. You hit this little drop box or comment box, you'll be under Scope Waveform, and then Luma, and then IRE. And usually anything over 100 IRE is overexposed, or you'll see it's like super white. And you could tell it's when it's talking about this overlay, it's talking about this left and right of this church part. So this is overexposed. But again, it's meant to be overexposed. It is the sky. I'm not shooting with like a super cinema camera to where I could get like incredible dynamic range, say like an Alexa. And then at the bottom, 0 IRE, that is basically total black. So if you see this waveform part hitting the very bottom, you're crushing your shadows. Same thing goes for your highlights. So if I bump my highlights up, you're going to see how much more overexposed it gets. And then in terms of RGB Parade, this is this top one. You go waveform, RGB Parade, and then units, IRE. You will notice, so if I put a bunch of, if I change the color temperature to like super warm, you'll see what will happen. You'll see the blue go down, and then your reds will go up, your red and green will go up. And then if I put all the way to the left, you'll see the blue is like super high, and then your red and green, mostly your red, will be down or lower. Same goes for your tint. Your tint controls your green and your magenta. So if I put my tint all the way to the left, you're gonna see the red channel of the RGB Parade just go super high, like way past where it's supposed to be. And then if I do it the other way, you'll see like the blue and red go up, and that makes pink or magenta. Vectorscope, which is the last one I used to correctly getting colors, and to get that you just hit Vectorscope and then whatever scale you want and put it on vector. I use Vectorscopes a lot for getting my skin tones correct, and the way I do that is there is a skin tone line on the Vectorscope. So whatever skin that you have on the screen, you definitely want to make sure that it lines up with the skin tone line. And you'll see sometimes you'll see skin that's really yellow, and you'll see that if you use a draw mask or a mask tool to mask out their skin, it'll be probably going towards the yellow vector. And then if it's super green or orange, it's going to be towards the red. So that's just a little quick overview of how I use the color mastering workspace. I'm not like a professional colorist, just a disclaimer. There are other people that do that. This is what I use. This is how I have it set up. Comment down below if you have any like tips for in terms of color grading that you want to share with everyone else or with me, or you want to give me any feedback. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like the video if you liked it, share if you're into that, consider subscribing if you're not already, and hit that bell notification to stay up to date when I post new videos. And I'll see you on the next one. And follow me on all them social medias. I switched that around, but I think it's fine. You know, I don't want to redo it.